Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so I guess it was about 8 months ago, my father's 1956 Gravely had a pretty bad oil leak, and then we discovered that it was the axle seals. So we changed out the axle seals on it. We got the oil leak to stop. Right after that, I had the machine running outside. I temporarily had a governor on it, and while I was cleaning and putting the tools away, all of a sudden it started running full throttle. By the time I got to it, I idled it down. But then ever since then, it was running rough. On the cold start, when it was running rough, I didn't notice that it was burning oil when you first started. And I figured, let's look at the head gasket. We changed out the head gasket. I adjusted the valves on it. It still ran rough. I still didn't notice the smoking then. And then on part one of the series here, which was a couple of weeks ago, I noticed on the cold start, it was smoking. I could smell it burning oil. We took it for a ride and everything. It kind of like smoothed out after it warmed up. But every time you start it up, restart it, it smokes and it runs rough. So today what I want to do is, the tractor's right behind me. I don't know if you could see it. What I want to do is I want to pull the head off it. See how much oil is up there. But we're going to do a couple of different tests with it to see what's going on. We're most likely going to have to pull the top end of the engine off to see exactly what's going on. While I have you here right now, I want to thank all the viewers and subscribers. It means a lot to me. I appreciate everybody. So let's get to it. I'll back the tractor out, and what I'll do is I'll do a cold start on it so you can see it smoking, and I want to see it smoking too. I'll shut it off right away, and then we'll begin to pull the head off it. This has that big spark plug in it, and I always forget to buy the spark plug hole reducer from Richards. So we can't do a compression test on it, but it seems like it has pretty good compression though. Being that it smokes when we just first start it, I doubt it's the rings, because usually when the engine's running and it warms up, then it'll be burning oil, all the time. But like I said, we don't know yet what's going on. So I'm going to try to start it up right now, and we're not going to let it run too long. I just want to see it smoke and everything. I can even smell the oil on it. Alright, so I'll get set up. I'll bring the tools out. We'll pull the head off. If you notice how I have the sulky all the way to the right there, this way when you go to start it, when you're pull starting it, the tractor just stays in one place. Just a helpful hint for, whoever has these tractors. Because there's no attachment on it. We have the roller rest on the sulky right now. So we do have an engine problem there. Okay, let's remove the head and see what's going on. First I'll take the spark plug out. This is a brand new spark plug too that we put in. I mentioned it all on part one. I'll leave part one in the I'll leave a link to part one in the description below. I can't even talk right. There's enough air in the compressor. We had this head off, so I'm not worried about snapping anything here. We just make sure we get loose. I never looked back on the video when we did do the head gasket on it to see if this thing was smoking on the cold start, but somebody in the comments would have let me know, I think. Yeah, the head's not that tight. The head bolts. I usually go over them 2 or 3 times, but I don't think I did when we did it last time. I shut the compressor off so it doesn't kick on while we're doing it. Oh, I did use the anti-seize. That I could feel. Missed one. Top of the head's wet on the inside. It's pretty wet in here, really wet. I don't know if it's coming up through the, yeah, that's really wet. On top of the piston I'm talking about. Standard piston. I can't move the piston like we did in, what was that? I think it was the 69 Li that we sold. We were able to shake the heck out of the piston. I'm looking to see if it's coming up through the valve. I'm not sure. I want to do a test that I don't think it would work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to power up the compressor again, and I'll put an air gun on the flywheel nut and spin the engine over and see if it does anything then. Since there's no compression, I don't know if that method would work. Okay, I'll spin the engine over and see if that tells us anything. But there was a lot of oil in there. I know it's supposed to be some oil, but I'm pretty sure the oil's passing through the range. This never works. This gun's just not strong enough for that. I don't know. We're probably just gonna have to take this thing apart and I mean, using the pull strap, we're not gonna be able to tell anything like that. I doubt. You would think the air gun would spin it, but it don't. We're not going to be able to tell anything by doing what we're doing here. Well, I guess I'm forced to buy the tool to measure off the bore so we get the right range for it. Can't tell anything by doing what I just did. Alright, so alright. You have to pull the jug off it. I don't like doing this way with the camera, I'm sorry. Alright, so what we're gonna end up doing is I'll take the handlebars off. I'll take the shifters levers off too. I'm going to take them off. This way we can easily get to the heat deflectors, heat shields, whatever you want to call them. I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll pull the carburetor off too, so we don't damage anything with that either. Take the deflector off here. You know, once I have the handlebars off and the hood off, then I'll be able to unbolt the hitch anchors here. I'll unbolt them and just lay them off to the side here. I'll pull the shroud and tank assembly off, and then we'll get the jug off and see what's going on. And I guess I'll get back to you in a little while here. I'll drain the gas out. It's got quite a bit of gas in it. I'll just drain the tank out. And then I'll end up, after I pull the jug off, I'll just make it so I'll throw the tank and the shroud back on and put the handles on so we can push it back inside. Usually I leave the tractors outside when we're working on them and covering them, but I'm not going to do that with this one. This one's pretty easy to take apart. There's no electric start. We don't have to worry about taking anything else off it. Okay, so as you can see, I have it all apart here. The biggest pain in the ass is trying to get these, the lifter, the cam lifters support here. Trying to get this separated here, both sides too. Really hard to get off. If I just left it alone, I didn't want to take a chance on doing that because I didn't want it to leak oil. So I got them out. I cleaned this one up. I just set this one here because I don't want to mix them up. This is the right side. I cleaned everything on top here real good. I'm just going to put the shroud back on the handlebars and push it back in. I'm not putting the hood back on or anything like that. But there's a lot of cleaning to do. I still have small parts to clean up yet. The cylinder looks good. Like there's no gouges in it or anything like that. But it's going to have to be honed out. My honer's not too good. I might have to buy a honer somewhere besides Harbor Freight. The Piston, not the best in the world, but we're not buying a new one. I want to see if we get away with... I definitely have to measure the bore this time. We can't do like I did and I took a guess with the 69 Gravely. We did the engine on that too long ago. I definitely have to measure the bore. So they had a better... I paid $10 for the 1 caliper tool that I bought from Harbor Freight. It didn't have the last 2-digit numbers. I think that's tenths or whatever it is, which are the most important numbers. Yeah, you really need those numbers to know what's going on. There's a fine line between the right rings and the wrong rings. And what I want to do is, right now, I'm just going to put everything back together off camera. I'm just going to put the shroud on it, throw the handlebars on. I'll leave the hood and everything else off it, so I could just push it inside. This way I can move it around if I have to easily. But, yeah, I want to, we'll take the valves out and see what they look like. We'll probably end up just lapping the valves if everything's all right with that. I want to make sure the valve guides are still good on it. Okay, so I figure I'd take the exhaust valve out on camera. Don't know if that's a good idea, but we're going to try it anyway. We're using my homemade spring compressor I made. I cut a notch in here. I think I used a blade or some sort or something or whatever. And then I had this bracket laying around. And I drilled a hole out in the bracket to 3/8. So we're using a 3/8 nut and bolt. So that means we're using a 9/16 socket and a wrench, which I already bolted it up to the corner of the jug mount here. So let's see what happens. I wish I had a smaller magnet, but I don't. See if I can do it with the magnets first. It works good. I just pressed it down, took out the retainer here. So that worked out good. And what I do is I put a 4x4 block under the top of the jug to hold the valve up. So when you press the spring down, the valve will stay up. So it works out pretty good all the time. Now you gotta just watch out. Yeah, that's what you gotta watch out for. Sometimes the cup gets stuck in there. And if it gets stuck in there and you're not aware of it, this could go flying somewhere. So let's see what the valve looks like in here. The valve is kind of stuck in there. Should use a softer hammer to do this. Wow, that's really stuck in there. Wow. Well, while the valve is down in here, the valve guides, yeah, I would change the valve guide on the exhaust side at least. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I guess from all that oil, as I twist the valve, it's coming up. Hope you're in view. I think you are somewhat, aren't you? Can't see shit out here. Maybe he was okay in the first place? I don't know. I'm about to spray with some penetrating oil and work it out here. That's what I'll have to do. I'll get back to you as soon as I get the valve to come out. Well, there's quite a bit of oil passing through. This is smooth here. This is all crusted with oil really bad here. Real bad. So what I'm going to do is I'll take the intake valve out too. Because I was figuring that the exhaust valve would be the worst. So it obviously was burning oil. I'm pretty sure it's the piston rings that's causing this whole thing here. But I'll clean this valve up real good. And I'll clean where the valve seat is real good. I'll see what it looks like, and then we could just lap the valves. I'll let you know all that on part 3. We're going to end this one here. Thanks for watching. I hope you got a little something out of it. I'll see you all on the next one, and take care.